Hi, and another big welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm out on my bicycle today. Brilliant intro, you can't deny. So before you start and say I'm being irresponsible because I haven't got a hard hat on or any kind of hat, I haven't got one. And also, I just plan on staying on this cycle path. I'm not going to go on any roads, and I'm not going to do any great speeds. If I fall off, I'll be no worse than Joe Biden falling off his bike. Although I don't have endless amounts of security to stop my foot getting stuck in the pedal. Anyway, there we go. So, welcome back to China. Let's talk about China's population. Oh, that's the topic today. And also the reasons why some foreigners come to China. It's not because they have yellow fever and they just fancy a Chinese woman. That may come later. But initially it's to find out what China's like, the culture, the people, the lifestyle, and its geography. Some of the amazing things about it. You've all heard stories about China. Every single one of you have heard stories. Whether you believe those stories or not, it's up to you, whichever side those stories take you, whether China's a bad place or a good place. Generally in life we have a tendency to believe the first story we're told, and then the second story has to convince us that the first one was wrong. That's about any subject. I'm not going to try and change your point of view on anything that you think about China, but I'm just going to tell you some facts, some opinions from my own experience here in China for the last 16 years. And that's what this is about. So stay with me. Maybe even before we get stuck into the topic, we should think about sliding down that screen there and just hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up, and then carry on viewing. Let's try that now. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. I know some of you didn't. Here we go. So the population of China, we all know it's 1.4 billion, right? I've got a piece of paper here with some figures. Let me get that out and show you. I'm going to show you as I'm writing the exact figures from 2021 to 2024. The population of China. Let me open this. There we go. This is not going to be easy, but I'll show you as I write it. There we go, you can see it on the screen. Right, so let me put that away. There's a lot of foreigners in China. How many do you suspect? Is it 100,000, 200,000? Well, I've got some figures from the census. China is still on the recovery of recruiting foreigners into China because of, one, the pandemic, two, some of those that left would have found other jobs elsewhere and may not return ever. Some of those would have had bad experiences, and others are just finding it difficult to get back. The Chinese government keep good records of all foreigners in China. Do they do that in your country? Do they really? Are they able to? We'll come back to that in a few moments. But first of all, let's break it down. The gender composition. Now, of course, China's only going to work on two genders because they have what's called common sense. Isn't that a nice feeling, eh? So in order to try to explain this part, I'm going to get off my bike, sit down and make sure I get the figures correct. Sit down and talk to you about this. Can't be done when I'm riding. Let's move the camera from there to there. I'm going to give you some figures now of the gender composition of what the records China keeps. Gender composition of visitors to China. 402,026 males from overseas. 443,671 females from overseas. Now I'm emphasizing overseas because they also keep separate records on the same website of those that are coming in from Hong Kong, Taiwan and Macau. You can see those on the website. That would have been a total of 736,286 males, 694,409 females, a total of 1.43 million people that visited China. Pretty accurate records. Can our countries, I mean the UK and America, produce the same records? Right, the next part of the record keeping is the duration of the residence. How long are the foreigners staying here? Now I'm just going to ballpark these figures. 40,600 stayed for less than 3 months. 56,300 stayed for less than 6 months. 166,000 foreigners entering China stayed for less than 1 year. Pretty accurate records, as I just said. The purpose of the visit, to stay in mainland. They keep a record of that, and that is also published on websites. The purpose of the stay, 77,000 was here for business. 444,300 came here for employment or work. I would have fitted that category. 219,000 for study. I certainly didn't fit that category, although I've tried to study Chinese. 419,500 was here for settlement. I'm not entirely sure what that one meant, but settlement sounds like they want to emigrate here. 74,700 to visit relatives, and 195,300 were here for other reasons, other purposes. They may have been short visits just across the border, do some shopping and back out again, I'm not sure. And the last but not least, they also keep a record of geographic distribution, where those foreigners are, the people that enter China, where are they staying? I'm not going to list every city, but I'm just going to name the same 3 main ones. Guangzhou, 419,000 people, foreigners lived and stayed in Guangzhou. Shanghai, 163,000, and Beijing, 62,000. The other cities that are also listed with numbers, and I'm not going to say them here, Shenzhen, Fujian, Jiangsu, Chongqing, Guangxi, and many, many others. That's where the foreigners were. When you come to China, you have to fill out a residence permit where you are staying. That will all be done prior to even getting here, and when you do get here, you have to see the local police station and get your residence permit. So they keep an accurate record of all the foreigners that come in to China and leave. Can our government say the same? Can they really? Anyway, this is about China, not about the UK. Obviously, the USA has got a similar issue down there at the border. Remember, USA has 2 borders. The UK has 1. It's just water. And China has 14 land borders. China's got it under control. Why don't those other 2 countries that I mentioned? And what about the country that you live in? Do they have it under control? Don't know. Right, I'm going to get back on the bike, continue this talk. I'm not going to talk about some YouTubers in China. If you want to stay with me, please do. If you don't, then exit now. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, a like, and write a comment. And of course, subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, if you're still interested, stay with me. Let's talk about YouTubers. 2 in particular. Let's go. The foreigners in China, exactly what jobs those foreigners do, I can't say, but I can probably say maybe 0.0001% of those foreigners in China may be doing YouTubes like I'm doing here. And the only reason that they're doing those YouTube videos is to inform you, the rest of the world that's never been here, what China's like. So how can all these YouTubers more or less talk about the same topics in a positive fashion? They're not all your Laowais 86 or your Serpent ZAs. I mean, they personally stayed here for quite some time, learnt the language, married Chinese women, had a very good time, and then suddenly they decided to turn tables once they departed. Is it possible that the people who leave China and then speak ill of the country that looked after them for all those years have done exactly the same? Sold their souls for money. Not for peace, not for truth, not for honesty. You decide. If they can become wealthy by lying, that's entirely up to them. I don't agree with it. It's not something that I will do in my life, but I understand why some people do it. They can't find anything else. Honesty is not working, so they're deceitful. That's their choice. Okay, so there we have it. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, don't ask me. Find them on the internet. But if you want to write a comment to anything that I've said, please go ahead. I will read them. I won't reply to all of them. Some of them are rather obnoxious, and some of them are quite insulting. I don't know why you want to insult someone who's just doing a video of what they think is the truth or from their personal experience. I won't take my hands off the wheel. That would be foolish. This, ooh, almost came off. Almost done a Joe Biden. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.